Hi Miss, how are you? Good evening. I'm going to talk about Romanticism. Romanticism was an artistic, intellectual, and literary movement originated in Europe toward the 18th century. It was partly a reaction of the Industrial Revolution, aristocratic social and political norms of the Age of Enlightenment, and scientific rationalization of nature. It was embodied most strongly in visual arts, music, and literature, but it had a major impact in education, historiography, and natural sciences. Romanticism had a complex and significant impact on politics. Romantic period was associated with liberalism and radicalism. Liberalism was founded on ideas of liberty and equality, and radicalism fought for the abolition of title, the freedom of press, and the redistribution of property. Another significant event on that period was the growth of nationalism. Imagination, subjectivity of approach, freedom, suspense, and idealization of nature will be focused more importantly in literature. Romantic literature wants to express the freedom of the self. The most important liberators of that period were William Blake, William Wordsworth, and John Keats. Another very important writer was Edgar Allan Poe. He was perhaps the most known American romantic writer. He worked on the Gothic mood. All of his stories and poems explore the darker side of romantic imagination, dealing with the grotesque, the horrifying, and the supernatural. Edgar Allan Poe was born in 19th of January of 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts. When he was only 3 years old, both of his parents died, so they left him in the care of his godfather, John Allan. He was a wealthy tobacco merchant. In the year 1826, he entered in the University of Virginia, but then he had a very important fight with his godfather. So then he served to the USA Army for 2 years. Poe had published 3 works of poetry by the time, no one of which had received my attention. In 1836, while working as editor at Southern Library Messenger in Richmond, Virginia, Poe married his 13 years old cousin, Virginia Clem. And he also completed his first full-length work of fiction, Arthur Gordon Pym, published in 1838. But then Poe lost his job in the Messenger, so he had a very heavy drinking problem, and then he moved with his couple to Philadelphia. He worked as an editor in Burton's Gentleman magazine and Graham's magazine. He became known for his direct and incisive criticism, as well of the dark horror stories like The Fall of the House of Usher and The Telltale Heart. In 1844, Poe moved to New York. He scored a spectacular success the following year with his poem, The Raven. But while Poe was working to launch the Broadway Journal, his wife, Virginia, fell ill and died of tuberculosis. So Poe had a very, very big problem with his alcoholism and with drugs. At the age of 40, he had a very big depression and he was found dead the 7th of October of 1849.